So here I am, dear friends, at Mount Angel, and I'm thinking. I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you. We all are here at Mount Angel. And I know this thing is hard. I keep hearing about a lot of suffering, physical suffering of those that have the disease and are dying, those that have lost loved ones or might, and then lots of financial struggles, and people really suffering because of the isolation. I'm mindful of that, and it's hard for us too. I mean, I've got my worries. I worry about keeping 50 monks safe, that many seminarians. Lots of worry is on all our minds. And so with that before us, I want to share with you today something that we do in our evening prayer every day in the Easter season here at Mount Angel. There's a wonderful response that we sing. And it goes like this. These are the words. The Lord Jesus has indeed been raised, and he has appeared to Simon. And we sing that over and over a couple times. At the end of this video, I'm going to let you hear the music. It's beautiful, joyful. But why is that important? What does that do? You know, like if I've had a hard day, a day with worry and hearing about other people's worries, and every evening during the Easter season at Vespers, we're proclaiming this text. The Lord Jesus has indeed been raised. He has appeared to Simon. We can say, well, no, what's so good about all that? And who's Simon? Simon's not me. He hasn't appeared to me. What is this text? And this is a text that really comes alive if you realize where it comes from in the Scriptures. It's part of the very complicated, very complex set of stories that Luke tells in chapter 24 of his Gospel. And all these, they're all resurrection stories, and they line up in relationship to each other. Let me just romp through them quickly with you. The scene opens with a number of women coming to the tomb. 3 are named, and there's more than that in Luke's account. Anyway, they find the tomb open, they enter it, and 2 men in dazzling robes say to them, "Why are you seeking the living one among the dead? The Lord Jesus has indeed been raised," they say. And so the women depart from there and run back to where the apostles and other disciples are gathered and say what happened. But no one can believe it. And then we hear, this is the next scene that Luke creates. Then Simon runs to the tomb alone, Simon Peter, and he finds the tomb empty, but nothing. And then the scene shifts again. And it's the Emmaus scene. We all know that one. You know, the 2 disciples on the road to Emmaus. And Jesus, as risen Lord, is with them, but they don't recognize him. And he has a long, extended conversation with them about the Scriptures, showing that the Messiah had to suffer so to enter into glory. And then, you know, the climax of that story, wonderful. He goes in and sits at table with them, and they recognize him in the breaking of the bread, and thereupon he vanishes from their sight. That's the scene. And then the next scene is these guys are running back to Jerusalem to tell what happened. But when they get to Jerusalem to tell what happened, the other people that are in the group that they've left, who simply have heard what the women said, that they said he's been raised, but no one saw him. Simon goes to the tomb, and and Simon doesn't see him. And so these guys got the good story to tell, except that when they get there, before they can tell their story, all the people in the room say, "The Lord Jesus has indeed been raised. He has appeared to Simon." So let's just pause on that word, indeed. The Lord Jesus has indeed been raised. That means because we didn't think he had. But no, he has. And how do we know? Because he appeared to Simon. And if he appeared to Simon, then it belongs to us all. And then the 2 guys from Emmaus, they get to tell their story. And that's the next scene. But when they're telling their story, the Lord Jesus appears to the whole lot of them and says, "Peace be with you." So with this just one line, the Lord Jesus has indeed been raised. He has appeared to Simon. The whole faith of the church is summarized. And And so and all those stories are supposed to come to mind as you're singing it. And they do. So I want to give this to you. I want you to hear it and pray it. That's all you need in this season. And you say it when you're doubting. You say it when you're suffering. That's when you pray it. You wonder, what is this all for? What's it all about? And it doesn't seem very good for any of us. And what is God's answer in the midst of that? What does God give us? This: the Lord Jesus has indeed been raised. He has appeared to Simon. Listen to the monks singing it. Every day for 40 days up to Ascension, we sing it here at Mount Angel. And we're praying it with you and for you.